Hello. Have you ever had one of those days where you realize you learned a lot of information in one day? Well, that's the case. We find ourselves in Mark chapter 9. In Mark chapter 9, the disciples learn an awful lot. First of all, Peter, James, and John accompanied Jesus up in the mountain of Transfiguration. So they're up in the top of the mountain, and of course Elijah appears and Moses appears, and Jesus is transfigured before their eyes. They're dazzling white. And then Peter says, well, let's make 3 tabernacles. And the Father speaks from heaven and says, this is my beloved Son. Listen to him. Lesson 1. Then they come down the mountain and they're having conversation about Elijah. They said, well, some people say Elijah has to come first. And Jesus says, Elijah has come, and they missed him. Well, he was speaking of John the Baptist coming in the spirit and power of Elijah. We're taught that in Matthew chapter 11. Then they come down and they're encountered by a deaf mute. Well, the deaf mute, he's throwing himself on the ground and foaming at the mouth. And the guy says, I brought him to your disciples, and they couldn't heal him. So Jesus just spoke, the demon left, and he said to them privately, these come out only by prayer. Some translations add, and fasting. So then next, they come to Capernaum, and they were discussing along the way quietly, just to themselves. They were discussing who's most important, who's more important than the other person. And Jesus corrects them and talks to them about taking a child in his arms. He says, you have to become like a child. And then he follows up on the whole child thing, and he says, whoever causes one of these little ones to stumble, it's like he's thrown into hell. And he goes on to talk about the fiery pit of hell. And he closes by saying this, for everyone shall be salted with the fire. Salt is good, but if the salt becomes unsalty, with what will you become salty again? Have salt in yourselves and be at peace with one another. Today I say, have salt in yourselves. Salt preserves. So have salt in yourselves today and be at peace.